Our topic for tonight is about new resolutions of the year. What can I take on myself to better myself, right? And how to incorporate it in our daily lives.
Rabbi, today I have questions for you. This year, I really want to get my life together, New Year's resolutions and everything. So we'll see how we can incorporate God more into that.
Well, listen, your new year started at Rosh Hashanah, so you should be already having
It
some.
started.
But how do you keep it on? That's the whole thing. So in Judaism, as a person, you just have to look at yourself, see what you could do better every day, and what you are the best at. First of all, like when you see your positive ways, meaning that you're successful in your business, you're successful with your relationships. So how can I better myself in it? So you learn about it. You can learn about, of course, take books that have to do with the religion and how do let's say I give an example, relationship. There's so many books about relationship, and those rabbis that are giving you the advice in the book could give you like an idea of, okay, am I in a good relationship or not? Now you can use also books that are not written by Jews but by professionals about relationships or any subject that you want to get better in. So I think by reading and by having a little bit more knowledge about what you want to get better in is the first step that you should do.
And let's say, I'm building my business, and when you're starting something, you typically want to do it as much as you can, right? The consistency compound. So when it comes to things like keeping Shabbat, mentally there's the little battle of, but then I'll be closed on this day. What if I miss a client? What if, So how can I kind of incorporate that more and really let God help me with my business?
Amazing question. Listen, I think the best way is to find a mentor. When you have a mentor, meaning that is in the same field that you are, and he is religious, and he's Shomer Shabbat, he does all kinds of mitzvot, and you become one of his like apprentices, or even he becomes your friend, to see how he lives, to see how he manages his work, and also his spiritual life. To see an example is the best way.
Yeah.
I think that by going to his house, seeing a little bit, he invites you there. You learn maybe once or twice a week, even on Zoom. Having a mentor is the best way for you to know how to manage your two-way life.
And when it comes bringing it back to relationships, building on the relationships you already have, being a better person, that's one aspect. But what about finding and bringing in like new relationships, or for all the people looking to get married this year or anything along those lines? What's the best mentality to approach this? What's the best way to kind of go about it?
So first of all, you have to know where you stand, what kind of level you are. Because if you want to start a relationship with a new person, you have to know if it's compatible. So let's say I'll give you an example. If you're Shomer Shabbat and she's not, you shouldn't start. I'm not saying it's always like that. It could be like there's someone that's not religious, but he likes the way that you are like on Shabbat. Maybe they'll do it. But usually in the Jewish world, let's say when you do a shidduch, you know that you have those basics that are already done. You're Shomer Shabbat, she's Shomer Shabbat. Also, to have someone in the middle, some people don't like it. They think, I'm able myself to go in and find somebody new. But sometimes when you have a friend or even a rabbi or even someone that knows you well, he could give you the right advice to say, you know what, I got someone for you. She would be great. So never. I always say to my students, never say no. Try it. It works, it works. It doesn't work, But at least, you get that advice from someone that loves you, someone that wants the good for you.
For sure. And so bringing it back to compatibility, during one of the shiuros, you were talking about 3 levels of basically seeing if the person's good for you.
Yeah.
What are those three levels?
So it's a big subject. We'll talk about it more in depth if you want. But the concept is I've heard it a lot from a lot my rabbis.
Mm-hmm.
It's the I, E, and P. I represents intellect.
Mm-hmm.
E represents emotional, and P physical.
Okay.
So usually a relationship should be based on these three. But there's a rule. The rule is you got to follow the three. First, the intellect. What do I say by intellect? Is by having a conversation. What do you like to do? What do you want to do? And having that conversation. And there's no emotions and there's no physical touch at that time. It's only talking and having that inspiration. After you do that, so then those emotions that you have that are bringing, because you're seeing the person once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, you're creating emotions that are real. Because first of all, it's not emotions that are created by a physical touch, but it's only by an intellectual.
Mm-hmm.
So there are real emotions. You really love what this person wants to do. And it's compatible with you. So you're like, oh, okay, me too, I like that. And then, of course, when it gets closer and closer, you'll want to get to the physical touch. That's when you get married. You could get that physical, when you love someone, let's say somebody from your family, and you want to show them, sometimes you don't even have to say anything. You just have to hug them or give them a kiss. It's your mom, it's your daughter, But when it's your spouse or your future spouse, you have to wait until you get married. But you need to know that those 3 levels are compatible together and that you follow them. Because if you go the other way around, if it's the physical, and most of us are like that, you have the physical touch, and then you get the emotions. But the emotions are not really there because you still have intellect, but it's not really there. You were attracted physically. I'm not saying you can't be attracted. You have to be attracted.
Of course.
But those emotions were created from the physical, not from the intellect.
Right.
And to have that relationship, which is going to be a strong relationship, have to go through those 3. We'll talk about it more in depth if you want next time.
Yeah, we could do that. If you guys want to see that, let us know in the comments. One more question I have is just day to day, things like putting on your tefillin, thinking, incorporating God more just through your thoughts, really building that partnership with Him. How can one be more consistent with that going forward?
So, what happens to someone when he starts, doing mitzvot? In the beginning, it's nice. In the beginning, it looks like you're really like up to it, and you're feeling it and you want to do it. And like anything else, it becomes a routine. And when it becomes a routine, sometimes we don't want to do it, right? Like you buy new shoes. In the beginning, you buy the shoes. You tell yourself, "Come, leave it in the box," even though you have to put it on your feet. Someone's gonna step on it. You're gonna get mad, but then you get used to them, and you don't pay attention that much. I think in Judaism, you always have an up and down, and most of the time, if we go down, you want to stay down. Your everyday work is, even though you're falling or even though you're not having that same feeling, to start it over. Every day is a new day, right? Every day is a new step. Every prayer is a new prayer. Every time you put the tefillin is a new time. It's the first time you put the tefillin. That's how you have to think in Judaism, and that's how Hashem wants you to work. Because if you feel bad about yourself, then you're gonna come back to your bad habits.
Right.
But you want to have good habits. You want to create those good habits. So I think that the best way is to hang on, and also when you learn about, let's say, tefillah, you learn about any the tefillin, what are the tefillin itself, the subject itself. It gives you more strength to continue. So I think that's the best way to grow day by day.
100%. Appreciate it, Rabbi.
Thank you, brother.
All right, we'll see you guys next week.